Continuing our study of Titus with verse 9. Verse 9 is going to complete the very long thought that Paul has been developing over the past couple of verses. This is sort of like the period at the end of a long sentence. Verse 9 reads, "Holding fast the faithful word, which is in accordance with the teaching, so that he will be able to both exhort in sound doctrine and to refute those who contradict." So the overseer is to know the teachings of Paul and Titus so that he both teaches that same doctrine in its purest form and can refute those who argue against it. So from verse 5, Paul has reiterated his directions to Titus regarding who he is to appoint as an overseer of the churches on the island of Crete. Verse 9 really distills everything Paul has said up to this point. The essence of the overseer's job is to protect and teach the true doctrine which comes from the apostles like Paul. Now remember how Paul introduced himself at the beginning of the letter as an apostle. That title is what validates Paul's message. The fact that Paul is an apostle is what separates his teaching from all the other teachings swirling around in the ancient world. The degree to which doctrine is sound is the degree to which that doctrine matches the teachings of Paul and the apostles. This is by having records of those teachings, the writings, the letters, like this one that Paul wrote to Titus, were so important because it ensures this tight continuity between the teachings of the overseers and the apostles. The overseers appointed by Titus could trace their teachings right back to Paul, who himself encountered the resurrected Christ. That tight continuity was very important then, and it is why Christians today give such a high priority to the teachings of the New Testament, because this is coming from the mouths of the apostles themselves. Finally, with verse 9, we are going to start to get some answers as to why Paul has put these particular stipulations in place regarding overseers. At the end of this verse, we get our first indicator that Paul is not the only person teaching a system of theology in the ancient world. There are those teaching on Crete whose teachings contradict Paul's, and there is a very specific group of contradictory teachers that Paul is going to address, and the overseer has got to be someone who can skillfully handle those contradictions well.